You've traded spaces from living in the Carolinas to now living as you mentioned, what has become the epicenter of this COVID-19 outbreak in the US. And I was interested in having you share your reflections with some of our viewers. And so part of the post you shared first is that, what is bringing you anxiety as you're there?
hmm Yeah. I talked a little bit about how New York City is really the epicenter of the coronavirus outbreak here in the United States because we have the highest number of reported cases here. The death rate, the number of deaths really here has been increasing. And I think just knowing that can be very scary. There are times I'm cooped up in this apartment all the time, but there are certainly times when I want to go outside, and I'm just a little afraid to, just afraid of being exposed to it, afraid of touching something that may eventually infect me. So I think it is a little petrifying at times.
And you also shared the hope and the positivity that you're seeing right around you as well.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing that can sort of ease the anxiety. I went downstairs in my building, at my apartment building, and there is a sign that was posted, I think maybe starting last week. One person in the apartment just wrote on a piece of paper and said, if there are any seniors in this building who are afraid to go outdoors, if you need groceries or whatever, please just call me. I'm happy to help you. And that warmed my heart that there was somebody in the building who recognized that there was a need and was happy to meet that need and just help other people. So I think it was originally posted sometime last week, and by I think yesterday or 2 days ago, there were, I don't know, like maybe 7 to 10 more names of people who had just written down their names and their apartment numbers and said, I can help too, feel free to reach out. Somebody wrote down a note that had their phone number. Somebody else wrote down a note that said, if you have, any heavy lifting that needs to be done, please let me know, call me here. So I think that is reinvigorating and just is inspiring and helps me to know that there are people who really do want to help.
Share more with me about what it's like there. Are you pretty much in the heart of New York and what you're being told, the messages you're being told, to leave your building, stay in the building, social distancing? Tell me some of the how it appears there where you are.
Yeah, so we are close to Midtown. So we're not far from Times Square, not far from Central Park. And so, there are times I really just want to go to Central Park and walk around. There are a few times last week and the week before that I went. And there are a fair amount of people that will go to Central Park to run, to walk their dogs, to go bike riding. And I think that sort of eases some people's the sense of, feeling very stir crazy, just sitting in your house all the time. And, exercise helps me feel good. So I'm sure other people feel the same. But when I look down outside of the window from my apartment, I can see that the streets look deserted. I mean, I think it was like noon on a Friday or something when usually all I hear are car horns and people screaming and kids running around and dogs. And I mean, when I would usually hear those noises, it was just empty and almost dead silent. I mean, I'm used to being woken up at 6 o'clock to taxis honking their horns outside of my window. And now you just don't hear that. I think that adds to the sense of eeriness when you're here to know that this is one of the busiest, craziest, most dense cities in the country, and it's just almost deserted.
Mhm. What message would you like to share with people back here at home and across the country during this time?
I hope people know that number one, we really do need to be practicing self-distancing. This virus is real. It really does hurt and kill people, and it affects tons and tons of people. It's affecting me in so many different ways. A lot of my events have been canceled. I had a tour with Dress for Success, an organization that I advocate for, that I'm an impact ambassador for, and a lot of the dates that I had along my tour have been canceled or postponed. So I can't reach out to people that I really wanted to help. So it's affecting many people in just many different ways. And we have a responsibility, each of us, to help in whatever way possible, whether that's helping your neighbor or making sure that, if you can work from home, you stay at home, following the directives of the governor or your local mayor, of the CDC, just making sure that you're knowledgeable about what's going on and you're doing what you can to help is most important. So I really hope that people really do that.